And in this video, I will explain what is a Docker volume and how to add Docker volume to the container. So before that, adding the Docker volume to the container, we need to understand what is uh, Docker, what is the volume or why we need to add volume to the Docker container. For example, I have a one Docker container and that container generates some kind of data, like it can be log file or other some kind of data. And if I'm not using any if storing all the log file and all the data inside the container, in the future, if for some reason my container will be down or stop and delete for some reason, my data will be gone. Okay. So therefore, we used storage like volume. So outside to the container, the data that generated by container will be stored in outside of the container. We have two ways to add volume to the container. First is volume, and second one is bind mount. First, I'll show you how the volume how the volume work in the Docker. So for that, I'm in my terminal. I'll show you how to create volume. First, we need to create a volume. Okay, so creating volume, we use Docker volume. This is a Docker volume and ls command. Using Docker volume ls, we can list all the volume that our Docker has. So currently my Docker has no volume. So I'm creating Docker volume with Docker volume create and they give the name of the volume that we want. So for example, I give the name Aryan. Okay, click enter. You can see Aryan Docker volume is created. I use this ls command, Docker volume is created. There are some other command also there to see the Docker. If I want to see the more detail of the Docker volume, I use simple command, use Docker volume volume spec and the name of the volume. We can see here all the detail. We can see creation date, time, and mount point. This all the Docker volume are managed by Docker. Okay, Docker. You can see all the name. And I'll show you how to add this volume Docker to Docker containers. So for that, I used Docker and run mount mount. First, give the name of source. Source, and here the rn source is rn and comma target. Okay, target, it can be any folder in the container, so I'm choosing target slash app, means all the all the data that are generated by container is stored in app, and the app data will be stored in volume. Okay, this is a simple command, and here give the image name. So currently I don't have any image in my system, so I use simple nginx image, nginx test. So, latest one. This is perfect command and click to run. You can see it will pulling a nginx image. Here I am stopping that video. Now you can see it will complete it. Let's complete it. I'll show you first first PS. Okay, This for Docker, it meant Docker. You can see the container, this ID. Just leave it. Will show you simple command docker ps, get the container ID. So this is a container ID I get. Okay, container ID and use simple command docker inspect and the ID in the container. You can see all the detail of container. So here we need to find the mount. Here you can see the mount. Type of mount is volume and the source that we given is as a RN and the target slash lab. We successfully add the mount volume to this container. We have another way to add a volume to the container. That is, we also have another way to add a volume to the container, that is bind mount. In a bind mount, we create one simple folder. We create one folder into our host system, and that that host system folder we connect with our container. Okay, container target folder. Okay, this is a simply, but bind mount is managed by the host file system. Okay, but instead of we use volume, Docker volume, this managed by Docker. You can see the volume. I'll also show you how to remove that volume. So Docker rm, sorry, Docker volume rm, and give the name of the volume. The name is rm. Let's check for volume and rm, and so you can see here, Docker volume is not being deleted because of we currently use this volume to that container. So if we want to delete that volume, so we need to remove that container first. So go to container docker ps -a, and then get the container ID, docker rm rm with the name. Docker is created to verify this. You can see no Docker file is no doc container is here. Now we are able to delete that volume. Okay, so first use Docker plus. You can see Docker volume is there. So here you notice that after the deleting the container, volume is also there. So now we can use Docker rm Docker volume rm, and the name is rm. You click enter. If I use this command docker ls, you can see here is a no any Docker container, not any volume is there. Okay. In my in, in my next video, I will explain how to add or how to use bind mount in my futures video. So stay tuned.